Hey guys, today I'm going to read a book that is really silly and it's about one of my favorite holidays called Passover. Now, Passover is going to be celebrated a little bit differently this year, just like most of our holidays that are happening in the spring, but a good way that I'd like to celebrate is by reading this book with you. It's called Stone Soup with Matzoh Balls, a Passover Tale in Chelm. Now, we've heard that story, Stone Soup, before. I wonder how similar this book is going to be to the story Stone Soup that we heard the other day. Some people say that Chelm is a village of fools. That may or may not be true. You can decide for yourself. Listen to what happened one Passover when right before sundown a poor, ragged stranger arrived and changed the village forever. You know what we say at Passover, the stranger proclaimed to the people in the square. All who are hungry, come and eat. He looked around hopefully. The people of Chelm all looked around too, hoping somebody else would invite this hungry stranger in for their Seder. We hardly have enough foods for ourselves, moaned Fagel. It's been a long winter, groaned Lila. Do your belly a favor and go to the next town, Shmuel pointed that way. Everyone nodded, but the stranger would not budge. No food! Don't worry. He pulled a stone from his pocket and held it up. I can make the most delicious soup in the entire world with this. All I need is a big cooking pot. Impossible! Exclaimed the people of Chelm. We're not fools. We know it takes more than a stone to make matzo ball soup. Everyone knows you also need water. And so Mendel and Yankel ran off to get the biggest pot, sloshing full of water. Meanwhile, the stranger made a fire. He placed the pot over the fire and dropped the stone in. Soon the water was boiling. Yenta peered in. Humph! I don't see any matzo balls. You expect miracles in seconds? Asked the stranger. First, I need a ladle. So Yenta hurried and got one. The stranger dipped the ladle into the pot. He poured a little into his cup and took a sip. He rubbed his belly. For me, a poor stranger, this is delicious. But, he looked around, for the good people of Chelm, it could use a little salt. No problem! Golda raced home and brought back a salt shaker in no time. The stranger sprinkled salt like there was no tomorrow. He took another sip. Now this is good enough for a king. But, he shook his head, not good enough for the people of Chelm. You don't happen to have any onions in this town. You think we're uncivilized? Of course we have onions. Moshe sent the children racing home. They hurried back with enough onions to make you cry for a week. Maybe two. Before you could blink, the stranger had a mountain of chopped onions. As he dumped them into the pot, he asked, Here in Chelm, have you ever heard of garlic? You think we're fools? Of course we've heard of garlic. Zadel sent the children running home again. They hurried back with enough garlic to cook a horse. Maybe two. The stranger hummed as he dropped the garlic into the pot. I suppose carrots are too common for the good people of Chelm. Too common? Bah! Cried Yossel. Feet are common too, but does that mean we don't use them? Don't be foolish. In Chelm we use our feet and we use our carrots. And so it went. Carrots, celery, chicken. What a soup. Humph! Yenta narrowed her eyes. Don't think we don't know what you're doing. She shook her finger at the stranger. What do you mean? Said the stranger, stirring. You said you would make matzo ball soup from a stone. Yenta stood on tiptoes so she could glare him in the eyeballs. You think we're fools? She cried. Of course not, said the stranger. Yenta put her hands on her hips. Then where are the matzo balls? What a wise woman, said the stranger. I almost forgot that stone of mine makes the best matzo balls in the entire world. So big, so heavy, they'll sit in your belly like rocks all 8 days of Passover. Guaranteed you won't need to eat for an entire week. I'll get them going right now. Wait! Exclaimed Rivka. Don't you know you're in Chelm? Don't you know we make matzo balls so light they could almost fly? Impossible, said the stranger. I've never met people like you, so wise, so clever. And you can even make matzo balls? The very best! The women all hurried home, and soon dozens, no, hundreds of matzo balls were popping into the pot. The soup bubbled away, and everyone in Chelm gawked. Amazing, they exclaimed. That's some stone. The rabbi stroked his beard and nodded. It's a miracle, right before our very eyes. The stranger tried another sip. Now this is good enough for the people of Chelm. It took 4 men to lug the pot into the synagogue, the only place where everyone could fit for the Seder. What a Seder it was. Plenty of drink, piles of matzah, and enough horseradish to make your toes curl for a year. Maybe 2. When it was time for the meal, the stranger stood up. He clanged the ladle against the soup pot. Dung, dung, dung. Good people of Chelm, I have something important to say. A hush filled the room. The stranger spread his arms wide and proclaimed, All who are hungry, please come and eat. Now some say the people of Chelm are fools. But that Passover, everyone had a full belly, even the poor stranger. Now what's so foolish about that? The end.